a lot of insights, plenty of new knowledge, and eye-opening thoughts. Critical thinking, guys, critical thinking. Plenty of networking opportunities, exposure, new connections, new friends, new connections, exposure, great knowledge, amazing people, very friendly people, perspectives, discussions, lectures. We study business and we study peace. There is no place for geopolitics right now. Hello everyone, I'm Dennis Richard, and today we're gonna talk about university. We're gonna talk about Jinan University in Guangzhou in southern China. What's more important? I'm the first one in 30 years from Finland to attend this program, Sino MBA, which means literally Chinese MBA. We're gonna talk about studies here, we're gonna talk about environment, we're gonna talk about infrastructure at university, housing, how do we survive here, how we study here, and all different approaches and assignments. So guys, I promise you it's gonna be interesting, and if you're interested in studying in China, then this video is exactly made for you guys. So stay tuned and let's go explore it more. I will tell you more about my university. So first of all, Jinan University is one of the oldest universities in China, and it's located in Guangzhou, the capital of Guangdong province and the largest center of southern China. It is the first university that started accepting international students for Chinese language programs and is still the most popular with international students. At the present, the university has more than 46,000 students from 93 countries and regions. The number of international students exceeds 11,000, which is the highest in the country actually. Although the situation has recently changed because of COVID. Speaking of faculties, we cannot fail to mention that there are many of them here. Different fields to suit every taste. If you want to study medicine, pharmacy, chemistry, engineering, science, economics, finance, journalism, or maybe you're interested in communications. And by the way, an important fact actually for those interested in Chinese language study is that Chinese language and literature, especially Chinese as a foreign language, are Jinan University's strongest specialties actually. I am located at the Jinan University Language and Culture campus. So they have a special campus for it in the city center in Tianhe district. Moreover, there are separate campus actually. Yeah, so you can live there, you can eat there, you can study there. So you don't need to spend and waste time on traveling, commuting, right? So you just grab a coffee in the morning or morning tea, have a breakfast and go directly to your campus, to your classroom that takes only 5 minutes by feet, right? That's great, I mean, for sure. You should keep in mind that they study here even on Sunday actually until 8 p.m. So be prepared once you decide to study in China. It will not be easy at all. And the university has 4 campuses. The main campus in the heart of the city, Tianhe district, close to business center, major attractions. There is also a College of Chinese Language and Culture, a campus in Zhuhai, on the outskirts of Guangzhou, and a College of Tourism in Shenzhen. But actually, there is also one of the campuses is located in another district. But this is only for bachelor studies. Jinan University has a very well-known, well-developed infrastructure that will make your life and studies much more easier. It offers its students access to the richest library where you can find almost any kind of literature for both study and recreation. If you want to get any business journal or medical journal, make sure you know the address of the library so you can get it in there. And free access to the basketball court, other sport areas like a swimming pool also makes it a good place. There is also a dormitory and some restaurants where you can eat very tasty and cheap meals. And for only 3 to 5 euros you can afford a full meal of fruit, vegetables, meat, chicken or duck or pork or beef. It depends on you what you would like to eat. And also there are like plenty of Muslim students, so they also have a menu for religious students. Moreover, very close to university, you can eat very tasty dumplings for only 3 euros actually, across the road. This is amazing. I've been eating there for a month almost. This is cool, guys. Very fast and easy and tasty. And my belly survived this, so that's really cool. The portion will be very hearty, and Jeff the chef fell in love with his dumplings as well, so he assured that this is one of the fanciest places for him in the street food. next to university. Let's talk about the education itself. The quality of education in China has a decent level actually. This is immediately felt at the stage of getting to know the teachers and professors at the university, and a lot of guest lectures as well were offered to us. All of them are excellent specialists in the fields and are interested in imparting knowledge to you. They regularly travel to other countries to attend conferences, improve their qualifications, participate in professional exchanges, and that's why Chinese universities are regularly included in the world ranking of the best universities. Even though at my university we had 99% of professors are from China originally, but they have been studying, working in other countries like Canada, US, Australia, Europe. So we really had a cool overview of Chinese professors and their experience, how they actually studied and performed well abroad. And they bring all this knowledge back to China and mix it with the local approaches and mix it with the local knowledge as well. So you get a really great exposure to the knowledge base of those professors. Moreover, the lectures often combine theory and practice. For example, one of my lecturers is a managing partner in a law firm, and we had a dinner with him, which is an amazing place actually for exchange opinions outside of university, and as well career aspirations and networking. And I never met a more serious person here. We have already discussed potential collaborations and work on business, and has not yet agreed to an interview. But who knows, maybe in the near future we will have an interview with the law firm in Guangzhou, one of the top 5 companies in China. In my previous video about religions in China, I interviewed my professor that teaches religions and history at the University of Jinan. And yeah, their goal is not just to teach you a couple of things and forget that you exist after the class ends, but actually impact and impart their knowledge and experience and give it to you. Believe me guys, if you are really interested in learning, Chinese university professors will gladly do everything they can to make you a top-notch professional and make you excel in your expertise. We should not forget about the peculiarities of the Chinese mentality. It's of course also expressed in studies. So this is why important part is, if you want a business in China with Chinese people, you really need to live here in China for some time. And that's the reason why I chose to study here. So I really wanted to understand Chinese mentality. The learning process in Chinese universities can be very different from what it is in the West countries. This may be reflected in stricter discipline, subordination, hierarchy, and some additional rules how to behave. So attendance is strictly controlled, and absences can seriously affect academic performance. So you really need to be on time and you need to be present at the lecture. Students are required to attend not only lectures but also various extracurricular activities and seminars. And guys, remember, there will be plenty of group work as well. So not only sitting on the lecture, learning and reading at home, or writing your essay or thesis at the library, but as well you will have a lot of talking and negotiations, discussions, debates with your classmates throughout the education process. Also, it is important to clarify that everything is individual, right? And varies from the university to university, case by case. I'm telling you about the Jinan University. And in my experience, in my life, actually, you should understand and remember that the key to a good relationship with Chinese people is respect and understanding. So take your studies seriously, otherwise you will just waste your time, money, and plenty of nerves, for real. Of course, not everything is so rosy and wonderful, but it depends on what you compare it to and what are your goals are. You cannot be 100% ready for everything. There will always be surprises, including scandals, intrigue, investigations within the team. You never know exactly what they mean until the final result will come up. I want to know that by Chinese nature and from the upbringing formed by years of study in kindergarten, schools, and at home, super competitive. Competitive, guys. A few reasons why. 1.5 billion people in the country. Imagine this. Faster, higher, stronger. That's the motto of the Chinese people from the early age. Here, they can openly declare who is the best in the group and make other students in the group jealous, for sure. This is the norm for the Chinese. They love competition and teamwork, and they are not fed with the bread. They are shy and like to work in teams of people who are close to them in spirit, like friends, with whom they already have a connection. and with whom they feel more comfortable. They really don't like upstarts. There are really all first desks are empty, always. Almost everyone tries to get to the last row so they can't be seen by a professor. And a lot of things here cannot be conveyed in words actually, guys. This is only understood by people who are studying here and being here for some time already. Well, where you gonna stay? Where you gonna live? I will give you a brief information about it and tell you about my experience, and probably I can share some advice. Let's start with the main thing, dormitories. Yeah, practically every university has its own dormitories in China, which they provide for students. But whether you will want to live in them is a big question. I will elaborate on this a little later. Unfortunately, most of the cool things about the university are predominantly Chinese oriented, and this is especially expressed by the fact that everything and everywhere is in Chinese language. The worst part is that you can't really prepare for this. No videos on YouTube can make you ready, because this is totally different. Theory versus practice. And the practice really hits you first, cultural experience, cultural shock. That you literally have to learn everything by yourself, from scratch. How to order food, where and how to pick up parcels, where to wash things, and what the rules are, and so on. The list goes really long. Of course, this is not that bad, and the dining hall, you will not be assigned a separate table by the toilet, or if you're like a foreigner, but it will be longer and more difficult to get access to many things, for sure, you as a foreigner and without knowledge of Mandarin Chinese. And so, for example, with my student card, it took me about 4 weeks to get it, with different students, bosses, so I tried really hard to push many people to help me with this. In different offices, nobody knew anything, or they just didn't care about me. But you shouldn't be too upset either. This is how things work. You need to push, you need to ask, you need to knock the doors. And you will get used to many things like cockroaches and snails with the first month, guys. The conditions in the dormitory are far from even the most rundown hotels or hostels. They are overcrowded, really dirty, and no one remembers the last time they were renovated. But again, it's not everywhere. And this summer, actually, they start renovating those places as I'm leaving. And so check in there at your own risk. Each university has its own dormitory, and many have actually luxury options where you can for 1,000 or 2,000 yuan a month and you can live in a single room alone. But unfortunately, there was not such things for me at the Jinan University, and they also only gave me a room for 6 people first and then for 2 people, but it was too small, and you have this bunk bed where you should actually climb, and it's really pretty small place, and I couldn't even fit my luggage in there. So I slept for 2 days, I got very claustrophobic and made a decision that I would either leave or find something else. So I ran away, guys. Yeah, so every one of us, they have their own weaknesses, and I understood that I cannot survive in such a tiny place. But then you ask me, where to live? It's pretty simple. Of course, separate housing is more expensive, definitely more expensive than a hostel, but it's still not that crazy money, and the difference in comfort is pretty huge. It's really colossal. Who is basically used to what? So many people decide to live like everyone else with the money saved, go to hotels for the weekend and see other cities. But I had to stay quite long time in Guangzhou and also host my friends, so that's also was the partial reason why I decided to stay at the hotel at the university campus. You can rent a hotel room, apartment, even a house, and it depends all on your budget and your will, your goals. And I repeat, it's very realistic to rent affordable accommodation in that place. In my video about moving to China, I touched on topic of housing and apps for finding it. I don't want to repeat myself, so you better watch this video, go back, using the tooltip in the upper right corner. There is a lot of useful information there, and it's great for those actually who want to go to China to study or just to try living the dream and experience real China. In the center of Guangzhou, you need about 4,000 to 6,000 yuan per month to rent a normal temporary accommodation for a half a year. It's approximately $800 to $900 per month. If I have free time, if you have free time, guys, there are plenty of choice as well. So Chinese universities have many different student clubs, associations, and they really cover a wide range of interests. So from academic, professional to cultural and sport events. In those clubs, you can actually find like-minded people in everything from biology to a book club. You can cook together, you can go explore some places together, travel, and really, guys, you can look for those clubs because where you make most of the friends, those clubs. University also offer various sports selections. Almost every higher education institution has its own teams. You can choose any sport you like, such as soccer, basketball, volleyball, table tennis, or whatever interests you more. There are regular intercollegiate competitions, tournaments, where universities teams compete against each other. So pick your team, pick the sport that you're good at, and become a star at the local Chinese university. But what if you don't want to join any team and you only want to just chill and throw a ball through the basket with your friends? Actually, this is not a big problem. It's not a big deal, So you're free to use many sport facilities and the gym and the campuses, as many as you wish, right? Anytime you want. And universities often organize various cultural events and festivals that allow you to experience Chinese culture and traditions. I'm sure I'm not aware of all the entertainment that is available here, but you have already realized that universities here offer leisure activities for all tastes, all ages. So don't you worry, you won't be bored here at all. I personally go to the gym next to the university because there you can meet other international students. The service is way better. A swimming pool is clean, and this is necessity when it's constantly hot outside, more than 30 degrees and high humidity. You really want to dip yourself in a chill water in the end of the day. Prices, guys. Let's move to another important part, prices. Here we're gonna talk about the prices of living in China, the costs for a student, and we'll briefly touch on admission prices, but let's take it step at a time. First, food. Food, it's really cheap here actually, and inexpensive, delicious food can be eaten both at the canteen and in many cafes. There are plenty of restaurants, and with the supermarket the same story. Everything is very tasty, the choice is great, prices are affordable, but depends which supermarket you're gonna find. There are also European supermarkets. The prices will be 3 times higher than in Europe actually. There are definitely no problems with transportation either. There is plenty of public transportation, and you can get anywhere in the city for almost nothing, even a cab, if you order it through the Didi app, as I told you in previous video, right? You watched it. Will not only hit your pocket too hard, actually only to the city center is 15 to 40 yuan per trip, right? So it's a couple of euros, 2-5 euros per trip. Depends, of course, on the time of the day or night, the traffic congestion. I told you more precisely about the transportation in China in the episode about moving to China. Actually, it's already available on the channel. What about clothes and everything else? All, let's say, the housing stuff that you need, like tables, chairs, or you need some stuff for your bed linen or whatever. It's actually very easy and pretty cheap to order from Taobao. Or if you have more money and you want to get a better one, so you get GD, Jingdong. So it's actually the AliExpress for the Chinese people. So this need is not difficult at all. So you will actually meet your expectations. But actually, guys, sizes, keep in mind that the Chinese are 45-60 kilos in weight and way smaller in size than Europeans in most. At least here in the South China, so my size is at home is XL, but here is 6XL. And sometimes it's not even fitting me. Crazy. So guys, let's move to the price of education. I can only share the price at Jinan University for now, and by the way, there are no discounts for those fees. But of course, there are scholarships, and I witnessed that there are 5 people in my group actually studying on scholarship here in China. Very big con, they can travel outside of China for more than 2 weeks. And you can find information about other universities on the internet, of course. So, a language program lasting from 1 semester to 2 years will cost you 8,850 yuan per semester. A 4-year bachelor degree in Chinese will cost you approximately from 19,000 to 29,000 yuan per year. A 2 to 6-year bachelor degree in English will cost you from 28,000 to 34,000 yuan per year. And my MBA program here is about 80,000 yuan per year. Again, those prices may vary from university to university, and please monitor the information on the internet. Pros and cons studying in China. Lastly, let's talk about the pros and cons of studying in China that I've picked up along the way. Let's start with pros, of course. First of all, quality of education. China gives you the opportunity to get a very high quality, standard, internationally recognized education, higher education. Plus, there are not many Europeans who have studied here. Stand out from the crowd. This is perfect opportunity for you guys. This is same as I thought about it, and I did it. Second of all, prices. Being a student and not going for luxurious life in terms of price, it's really comfortable to live here. There are plenty of places near campus where you can eat delicious, cheap food. Taobao allows you to buy anything on any budget you want. Number 3, a large number of jobs. After graduating from university and having a higher education, you will have no problem finding a job, because you will not compete with the Chinese in China. They have their own world and you have your own world inside China as well. You can present another point of view. You have different background, you have international background, so definitely you will have your own job market in China. Number 4, China is the center of the world. It is silly to argue with the fact that nowadays China is very active and increase its global influence to the tremendous sky level influence, right? And this affects the standard of living here as well. So it's constantly growing. So if you have a good education, you secure the job place, you will be able to live here in very good comfort and you will prosper and make a family one day. Number 5, networking. And thanks to the openness and social skills of the Chinese people, their curiosity, along with the huge number of extracurricular activities, it is very easy to make friends here. And as all we know, a friend in court is better than a penny in purse. The cons, guys, let's talk about the cons as well. It's very important before you're comparing studying and moving to China, right? So, although major universities offer programs in English, everyday life and the interaction with locals require some knowledge of Chinese. Even some additional courses are conducted in Chinese, so there is a feeling that even in the university with a large number of foreigners, the emphasis is on Chinese students. This can make it difficult for you to adapt and solve everyday problems, even in the MBA program, which is in English, and many Chinese professors help Chinese students and translate them into Chinese right in the classroom while you sit there. And you really, at this moment, you understand nothing while they speak Chinese. Happened to me many times with every single professor. Second, cultural differences can be a source of misunderstanding, quite a big one. Traditions, customs, norms of behavior in China can be very different from those we have in Europe. So you have to get used to it, right? So you can say something in just very clear and direct, but you will not be understood, and goodbye to good relations. It is better not to joke with Chinese for the first couple of months until you can understand who is who and what type of jokes you can actually bring in. Number 3, Chinese education system is known for its rigor and high level of demands. You may encounter intensive study loads, frequent knowledge checks, and strict attendance rules. But this is compensated for. You can try to negotiate with the professor through his assistant or directly. Although Chinese cuisine is very diverse, it may not suit everyone. Be aware of your belly. Finding familiar foods and dishes can be difficult, especially for those on a specific diet. And if you don't like spicy food, you're a little bit in trouble. But in the south of China, it's different. It's not like everywhere else in China or in Asia. The food here is mostly not spicy. They use more of soy sauce, oyster sauce, and actually sweet and sour sauces for meat. That's probably all I can highlight for now. It would be actually right to leave the conclusions to you guys to sum up what I said to you. And every one of you will have their own perception, will have their own life, and will have their own experience tailored by you guys, by your own life and your own destiny. For myself, and I can only say that my path was really cool. Although I had to get used to many things in China, I'm very happy that I decided to stay here. I've had really great experience, I learned a lot, I made friends, and finally created this channel, guys. So that I have adapted to it, I'm truly enjoying my life and my studies, and I can safely recommend just visiting China, at least for starters. So several days ago, I visited Shenzhen. Guys, there will be another episode about Shenzhen, but to make sure you got a topic right, So I've been visiting venture capital firms, entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs. So there's like also some people with whom actually we already made interviews. They're coming back to me, offering contracts, offering collaboration on different projects, and that would be really cool. So basically, yeah, so we met with marketing agency, we met with incubator, with startup incubator, with Hong Kong, Macau, Guangzhou incubator. We met with Shenzhen incubator, actually with two, government-owned and as well privately owned, privately settled. We met with plenty of startup entrepreneurs. They also, all of them, as they stay in China, they require some help or consulting from Europe, both actually, from Europe and from China. Right, so actually we're trying to collaborate as much as possible, and hopefully I will have more time to make things happen. So, all right, and a couple of days ago I also want to share with you that I went to have a lunch with one of the partners of the Zhongluo firms. That was extremely cool, and appreciate and see, importantly, what is more important, to see the appreciation from such big partners, such big companies in China. But guys, nevertheless, business is business, right? But all the true connection and contracts are made between humans. So always remember that. This is the main rule. Even so, you think that you are right, you know, make sure that corporate communication or just proper communication, right? The human communication will be correct one. So the person that listens, the person that receives the information will understand you correctly. So all your thoughts will be delivered in the right way. So that's why cultural exchange is extremely important to understand how other people think. So you don't want to mess with other people's culture or do something wrong, because you want to have a good impression and you want to establish long-term relationship with these people, because business happens again between people. People come first. Companies belong to people, right? Remember that, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. So altogether we had 5 new connections, and with 4 of them we're continuing now negotiations to do the proper review, to do the proper contract formation, and to see how actually we can collaborate in the near future and what type of tasks do they have. Guys, I hope you enjoyed, and see you later.